Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Platinum Partner. Today we're going to speak about ASANA and notifications. So, as usual, three topics. First of all, we're going to have a look at notifications, how they work, how they should be used, or how we advise them to use. Secondly, we're going to have a look at how we can customize our notifications and change it to best suit us and best fit our business. And secondly, we're going to have a look at troubleshooting notifications issues. So, jumping into my ASANA, here we go. I'm on my home page. And so the very first thing to know about notification on ASANA is that you have two places to set them up. One is on your profile, where you define your notifications and how you want to generally receive them. And the second one is on the projects, where you define for each user how they're going to be notified for this particular project. Now, what you also need to keep in mind is that you have a profile, but that this profile in ASANA world can be part of several companies, several instances of ASANA. And so something that's very important that most people forget is that you need to change your notification settings for each instances. So even so it says here, my profile settings, and then you can go into setting up your notifications. You also need to remember that you have access to different instances here and that those notifications are only for the one you have selected right now. So just keeping that in mind. Now, secondly, the important thing is how do we get notified using ASANA? Well, there are different ways. The first thing is you will get notified within your inbox here. So I have recently consulted it, so there's no more a dot here, but otherwise I will see an orange dot here, the same as what I would see here in front of the different instance. So you see each of the instance where I have this orange dot is where there is a different notification pending. Now, coming back to my home page, I will see on my inbox all the lists of notifications. I will see a dot leading me to my notifications. Now, this is on the web interface. You also have the ability on your web interface to allow your browser to give you a notification when something happens. And therefore, that will be like any of the notification you have on your computer. It will be a pop-up that comes on top of your screen here and will show you the notification coming. Very useful, especially if you want to be reactive. Thirdly, within ASANA, you have a third way to get notified, which is going to be through your mobile app. I really recommend using that if you are often on the go or if your team is distributed and they need help from you at point to point. The idea is that they can ask you questions through their ASANA and you will receive notifications on your phone. If you're on the go at a customer, at your, at your accountant or going to do anything else, you will receive a notification on your phone and you can quickly unlock your team by answering their question. So it's very useful to help you to unlock your production team when you're not always available. It can also be a bit intrusive over the weekend, so don't forget to set up your notification properly, which we're going to see in a few minutes. So those are the two main ways to receive notification within ASANA. You've got a third way, which is to receive notification by email. This is very useful, especially at the starting point. So when you're starting to roll out ASANA and you have people still using emails, you want them to start using ASANA more. You want them to stop using emails because that's less efficient. So we're going to start using emails notification to try to get everyone onto ASANA. And how does that work? Well, essentially, as soon as one of your users is using ASANA, setting up tasks and putting comments, all your other users are going to receive notifications when something happens. And they can then bounce on it and start doing what they need to do. So they receive the email with the notification, and if they want to reply or if they want to start taking actions in ASANA, they have a button or anything on the screen of the email that takes them back to their home page. Here they will be able to update and reply on the ASANA task. So that's a very nice way to get people to slowly move to ASANA, as at some point they will have too many emails notification and they will probably disable the email notification, which means that they will go then in ASANA to make sure they're always up to date. So nice way to transition, a very good tool for transition and user adoption. Now, this is how notifications works in ASANA. If we go a little bit more in details, it's going to be around where we customize the notification. So as mentioned, it's going to be into my profile. I go to my profile settings. Again, always you're going to have to do that for each of your different instances. So I go to my profile settings, and here I'm going to go to my notifications. And in my notifications, I have first the ability to notify, sorry, to pose notifications. So I can schedule notification to be posed. In that case, I want people to stop contacting me or stop being buzzed from 6 p.m. till 8:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. when I start my day. So here I'm going to be able to say I don't want to receive notification between those times. And here I can also have do not disturb day, in my case Saturday and Sunday. It can be different depending on which day you work. You can also set up your email for notification. You can have 2 emails for notifications, several if you want. That also helps to identify your user in ASANA. If you have several emails there, then they will all be considered as your user. Send email notification for, so you can then start to fine-tune what notification you receive. So activity updates, mention updates, daily summary or weekly summary. I personally will suggest that a manager will go for a weekly or daily summary, depending on how close he is to his team and the operation. But you, as a user, you should have, immediate notification. Now remember, you can remove all that when you don't want to receive email notifications. So that just browse through email notifications. Secondly, you have your browser notifications. So you can say, I want to be notified in my browser, which is within the inbox, or the browser notification on top on your mobile. I'm going to say you want to be notified. Again, you can filter it a bit more and fine-tune when you want to be notified. And finally, you have your project notification, where you can set up your general best practice notifications. Say when a new project is created and I'm added, this is what we're going to use. But as I mentioned, the second part is you need to go and manage project per project how you want to be notified. So here we have this new addition that came recently, which enables us to manage all our notifications per project directly from this page. And so if we click on it, ASANA is going to list for me all the projects I have ongoing at the moment where I have been added, and tells me where I'm going to be notified. So here I'm going to receive status update, messages, and when a task is added. Well, you know what? The marketing project, I don't follow it up from that close. That's something I'm involved in, but I'm not really working on it at the moment, so I just want to receive the status updates. But this lists projects, I'm working actively on it. So I want to receive messages when the tasks are added, and also when there's a status. So I can go project by project like this, and I can fine-tune my own notification. That's very useful because you don't need the same level of notification per project depending on your role on that project. Now, the other place where we're going to be able to do that is if we are a project manager and we want to fine-tune notification for others on a project. So here I've got my marketing project. I'm going to click on share, and when I do that, I'm going to see manage notifications. I can then click on that, and even so, those are not my notifications. In this case, it is, but I can go to another one. So let's go back to our customer project, and after that lift. And here we're going to have customers here, and I don't want to overload my customer with information. By the way, I'm going to put them in comments only. Okay. So I want to manage the notifications, and while Sharon is the manager, she's just going to receive status updates. Jody is working with me day to day, so she's going to receive status updates, messages, and when a task is added. I can do that project by project, and that's really for the project manager to fine-tune how he wants people to be notified. Those are the two main places when you can manage the notifications. You also can go to portfolio, and when you go to a portfolio, you will be able. You actually don't have. That's mostly the way we notify notifications. I'm going to have to cut that. Okay, so moving forward, the next thing is how do you actually look at troubleshooting notifications? You're not receiving notifications, or you're receiving too many of them. Well, first thing, if you're receiving notifications and you don't understand why, check the instance. You may be looking at notifications from another customer's project instance here. And then you will need to switch to this one. Okay, up. And then here you will have another set of notifications and another configuration that you're going to update. So in that particular case, if I open my profile settings here, so that was the wrong page. Okay, let's do it again. Up, I'm going to do my demo instance. And here I'm going to look at the profile settings. You can see that in notification, I do not have here the pause that I did set up just before, and I'm receiving every update of everything. I probably don't want that because it's a demo instance. So I would say pause notifications, and I'm actually going to put every day on days off. There we go. So I'm not going to receive notifications anymore here. But that was a different instance, as you can see. So it's a different place. I need to set it up. In the first instance here, I'm going to change screen. In the first instance, we were actually looking at more notifications. Here, I want to be less notified. The second thing that may happen is that your browser, if you don't receive notification by your browser, has been set up to not send notification for ASANA. So then go to your browser settings and make sure you change that. You can also, on the new Macs, you have the ability, and I don't know for PCs, but you have the ability to put yourself on Do Not Disturb. If you do that, you're not going to receive notifications, obviously. Finally, if you receive notification by email, you might need to have a look at your spam box or the rules that are applied to your email to make sure that they come and then they're not pushed to spam or to another folder. And on your phone, you need to also have a look at the notification settings of the ASANA app to make sure that it's allowed. So those are the different places where we would actually review the notification settings to try to troubleshoot. But if you have a problem, you can always write to us and we will help you the best way we can. I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to our next video. Thank you.